Oh, Pearson gets it in the 95 of Bolts. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona and away we go for the first time. Nicholas Borcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Doms, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now as we've got three wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 the lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Rescreened LLC Late Model Series here at the Spark Racing League. We're at Thompson International Speedway for the second round of the season. As always, I'm your host, James East, with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Breathe the action, 1080p, 60 frames a second. And right now, you've joined just in time for the LCQ, or I guess I should say the consolidation heat race, as unfortunately a few drivers did not make the show here tonight. That's going to be Aiden Neese, Robert Brobst, just a couple of the drivers that unfortunately going home early here tonight as we get live timing pulled back up. So it's going to be Neese, Brobst, Barker, Gillens, Belshaw, and Simmons unfortunately going home early here today. As always, let us know where you're from, and I want to remind the fans as well, link is in the description. We've got the fans' choice vote going here tonight. And let's see what these drivers can do in our consolidation race. Oh, already some carnage. As Neese and Barker tied up in something, both drivers taking a tow back to pit road. And that will unfortunately end the night for the 77 of Barker, the number 24 of Neese. Robert Brobst is going to get a little bit of TV time here, though, as he checks out in that number 5 machine. A very cleanly painted number 5 as well for Brobst. White flag is out. And Brobst picks up the win here at Thompson, the consolidation heat race. Cam Gillens is going to get second here, but unfortunately both drivers will not be moving on to the main event here. We only take the top 24 drivers in qualifying. And we get ready to send them out for our feature event. I want to remind the fans, and thanks to our friends over at Evan Pienta Designs, handing out the pole award here tonight. That's going to go to Justin Brooks in the 33 machine, qualifying in that top spot. So thank you to our friends over at EPD, Evan Pienta Designs, for coming on board, supporting this season, and supporting these extremely fast qualifiers. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the main event. Starting on pole, Justin Brooks in the 33 machine, the defending champ. Hunter Harriet starting second, Ryan Phillips starting third, RJ Williams starting fourth, Johnny Rapp starting fifth, Devin Jack starting sixth, Scotty Phillips starts seventh, Sean Moonpie Johnson starting eighth, David Hill starting ninth, Evan Pienta starting 10th. We've got Kenny Trouton starting 11th, Jeff Stiles starting 12th, cycled on back to Robert Liedl starting 13th, Benson Weaver starting 14th, Jeremy Brault starting 15th, Thomas Bergeron starts 16th, Caleb Hill starting 17th, Dave Grajewski starts 18th, Patrick Oberstadt starting 19th, Dylan Pott starting 20th, Jared Slonwhite starts 21st, Hunter Cole starting 22nd, Lucas Longmire starts 23rd, and Steven Oberstadt made the bubble and will start 24th to round out the field here today. Now, who do I have sticking their head in the broadcast booth? It's none other than Robert Brobst, pilot of the number 5 machine, Robert didn't make it into the main event here tonight, but still put on a good show, got some TV time. What's going through your mind here?
Really, it's just keep a car out of the wall. Turns out if you get wheel damage, it goes real slow.
So, Robert, coming into tonight, it was a track that you weren't super familiar with, but it seemed like a lot of drivers were really struggling here at Thompson.
It's a track that's a rarity on the service in terms of officials and in leagues. It's not one that gets a lot of laps.
And I've got the spare
my
monitor
experience,
pointed
at
your
least.
way here, Robert. So we've got Brooks and Harriet on the front row. Last week, there was a lot of beating and banging between those two, now former teammates, I believe. As we get ready to go green flag, it's going to be elbows out here tonight at Thompson.
I have to wonder if they are former teammates because Hunter still has that Justin Brooks Designs paint scheme.
Yeah, there was talks in the paddock about what happened last week, and a lot of drivers went home early. Harriet moves up in the lead, getting around that 33 machine. Now, the question, Robert, I have is, how many cautions do you think we're going to see tonight here at Thompson?
Oh, I forgot to consult our local gambling professional for the over-under, but for me, I'm going to guess, I'm gonna put the line at 5.
All right, I'm going to go with the under on that one. I'm feeling optimistic, which I'm sure will be immediately undone as Devin Jack gets bounced
Devin
around
Jack.
that 49 machine.
I think he missed the corner, got in the marbles. I did that in the heat race. It's a scary time. There is no control if you miss the groove up there.
Yeah, it seems like this track very one line and kind of an odd line, and drivers were talking about how slippery things were out on track during practice and qualifying. I'm curious with the sun starting to go down how that's going to play a factor. And I also heard as well, Robert, that for some reason drivers do have spare tires behind the wall here for this 100 lap feature event. Do you think that's going to maybe play a factor if we do get a mid to late race caution?
I think if we get a mid to late race yellow, it should play a factor. Everyone's got that in the back of their minds. And I feel like we'll see somebody pit. If nothing else, it'll be those top 3 because those guys are rocket ships.
Yeah, absolutely ripping. Hunter Harriet, Justin Brooks have already gained 4 tenths over the rest of the field. That's RJ Williams, number 21 machine, sitting in third. RJ coming off of his first ever league win on iRacing last week. So I think number 21 has a little bit of momentum built up here. And I mean, as we saw last week, it just takes one incident. Granted, that was a massive incident, but you can have some new guys up towards the front of the field as the night progresses.
Oh, for sure, for sure. RJ Williams got himself a new paint scheme this week. I believe that's the late model he runs in real life.
Yeah, very, very clean, that number 21 machine. And he's got a lot of pressure from Ryan Phillips, the number 27. Phillips down 1 spot from where he qualified, but you've also got Sean Moonpie Johnson, the number 32 machine. He's already up 3 positions, sitting in 5th, and it seems like Johnson's really come to his own the last couple of seasons, really starting to wick the pace up. But 24 drivers made the cut here with qualifying, so everybody out on track has good pace, but man, I don't know if anybody's going to have anything for Harriet and Brooks as they are continuing to kind of hold that 4/10 advantage. It almost seems like they built up a gap and said, you know what, here's about good. We don't want to push the tires too hard too early, but I mean, you've put more laps on these cars than I have. How is the tire wear going to feel for these drivers?
I was listening to our resident setup builder for the season, our Jacob Bradley, and he was telling me, or he was telling us in the admin chat that the setup for this track, especially, with him even driving it, it ripped up the right front and it faded quite tight.
That's going to be interesting, especially as the track temps start to drop and we get a little bit of shade and
Get some
cloud
shade,
cover.
get some speed.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on those lap times. Last time by, Hunter Harriet, a 19.8, almost identical lap times as Justin Brooks. So the pace really hasn't decreased too much for these drivers yet, but
That is pretty flat ripping in terms of race pace. Because I mean, in practice, that was solid practice pace.
yeah, I mean, no sign of slowing down for these two. It looks like RJ starting to close that gap up just a smidgen, as we say down here in the South. He's got it down to about 3 tenths. starting to close the door. And I also wonder as well how the dirty air is affecting drivers such as Justin Brooks, who's staying glued to the back of Harriet. Is that going to maybe tighten the car up? And what? Here we go. I'm going to interrupt myself. Brooks is going to take a look to the inside line of Harriet. Didn't quite have the run, but all right, so Brooks is hunting for it here.
It looks like he's trying to force him into an unforced error for sure, at least.
And we're on board with Justin Brooks right now, but how hard is that gotta be when both of these drivers are extremely fast late model drivers? And it also looks like they've wicked up the pace a little bit. They put another tenth and a half over RJ Williams in third. So I think Hunter Harriet saw Brooks taking a peek to the inside line and says, all right, if we're gonna go, let's go. And these guys just, I didn't think they could find any more pace, but they've seemed to manage it somehow.
Oh, for sure. They had a 10th over the field in practice, if I recall, on their hot laps. So I mean, they've got a little bit extra in the bank compared to the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see
Here
how
at Thompson.
I'm gonna see how the. Yeah, let's not give them too much credit. It's Thompson for sure, but yeah, I'm gonna be curious to see. I mean, with how fast these guys are. I mean, they're some of the best of the best. Surely they're thinking about tire wear and not pushing the car too early on, because I mean, you've got RJ Williams, Sean Johnson, Johnny Rapp had a great qualifying as well. That's a bunch of guys that know the tire wear game, and we've gone 20 laps, just shy of 20 laps green so far. And I'm trying to remember, Robert, I want to say the first caution of the night was around lap 40 last week. Is that correct?
24 is when Justin's patience wore out.
Well, here we go again. It seems to be true to form. Right around that lap 20 mark is when things start to dice up. Brooks really taking a peek to the inside line, trying to squeeze in alongside that 81, but both drivers very equally matched on pace. RJ Williams seems to be content following along in that number 21 machine. Now, taking a look, there's a few hard chargers. You've got Lucas Longmire, Dylan Potts, Caleb Hill, Evan Pienza, Sean Johnson. All of those drivers are up 3 spots from where they started. Other than that, we haven't had any crazy big moves throughout the night. Speaking of Longmire, he's keeping the pressure on Dave Grajewski. Looking to the inside line of Grajewski's number 6 machine, as I believe Hunter Cole just made a pass against Jared Slonwhite as well. So everywhere we look, there's action across the field as Johnny Rapp has moved up into 5th.
And say, if we want to look for the biggest faller, that currently is Tom Bergeron, down 7 spots from the start.
Yeah, I didn't see.
He must have got.
any
He must have got.
incidents.
He must have got a little loose down in 3 or something.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes everybody, all 24 drivers are so equally matched on pace here at the Rescreened late model tour. One little mistake, one little bobble is all it takes to get out of the groove. And as you know, with your experience, if you're out of that preferred line, there's a freight train of talent behind it. It is extremely tough to get back where you want to be.
I lost so many spots at 5 Flags in the middle of the race last week for that, with their outside restart. I just got hung up on the outside and just car after car just passing on the bottom.
Yeah, super frustrating to watch. And Johnson and Pienza having a great show for 6th here. Pienza sponsored that pole award that Justin Brooks won. He's up his 3rd spot, number 55 machine, and looks like Devin Jack is hungry for an opening as well.
So Evans got the pace on Sean by the eyeball test, but I don't know if he has a clue how to make the pass happen.
Johnson got loose. Pienza got into him. And Devin Jack going to try and capitalize here. But yeah, Pienza nowhere
he got
to
loose
go.
trying not to take out the 32.
Yeah, exactly. Pienza checked up there. And Devin Jack with tires that are not quite overheated, making the outside line work. Pienza leaning on the inside quarter panel of the 49, but Jack's able to get through clear here. Man, this is some great racing across the board.
It really is. It's a great group of guys that we've got here.
And
especially Devin. He sneakily will just hang out and cruise for most of the race and end up in the top 5 at some point.
Yeah, and we really haven't had too many opportunities for the long-run drivers to kind of show their stuff so far this season. So I'm hopeful as a broadcaster and a race fan myself, these guys keep the momentum going forward. Now, commentator's curse being what it is, I'm sure we're going to have a caution right about now. But these guys, I mean, it's a different type of talent to see the short run drivers compared to the long run drivers. And you've got guys such as Justin Brooks, he can do both all day, every day. But I love seeing the strategies from up here in our perspective as they kind of develop across the night.
I wish I had the patience to be a long run guy. I like to find my way forward and then fade very hard.
Well, hey, consistency is key, even if it's the wrong kind of consistency.
That's right.
I saw a little bit of a battle there between Benson Weaver, Robert Liedl, and Jeremy Brault, but it looks like that has cooled down a little bit. But if I go back up front, Robert, who do we have? Ooh. Justin Brooks on the inside line, pushing Harriet wide there.
Put him up in the marbles, but Harriet held on to her.
Now
He's still out there.
Yeah, I was almost expecting Harriet to kind of drop in line a little bit earlier, but he was showing.
Was there a little contact in that right rear? I guess not.
Couldn't quite see it, but oh, we do have an off track as well. Thomas Bergeron's going to go for a wild ride in the 86 machine, taking the alternative route.
That is a weird place to be off track. He must have had someone get into the back of him down the back.
Oh, good thing we've got an instant replay queued up here.
Oh, there you go.
A little bit of contact with the 29 of Jared Slonwhite.
A little bounce off the left side of this 29 car.
So luckily everybody able to hold on to it. Now Johnson still holding on, but Jack has good pressure to the inside line. Johnson pushes wide through 3 and 4. That is going to give Jack the 6th place spot here.
Sean might be the only one that'll build loose. He was talking about it in practice. And everyone else melting the right front, getting real tight, and he was talking about being loose. We were all
he's fighting it right now because now Scotty Phillips making his way on the inside line. We just saw Pienta make that pass. Kenny Trouton's number 25 machine. No, excuse me, that's going to be David Hill in the 43. Going to try and take a pass at Johnson. So 34 laps
32
in.
is a bucking Bronco.
Yeah, he's really fighting the car, and it's very early to be fighting the machine this much.
Well, it's about time right now when the long run guys start creeping forward and the short run guys have melted one of the tires, front or rear, and they start showing horrible setup or horrible tire wear and setup issues.
Yeah, and Justin Brooks, your race leader, he's gained 8/10 on the rest of the field here. And now RJ Williams is pressuring Harriet for the 2nd place spot. We also have Devin, Jack, Evan, Pienta still side by side. Pienta's on the inside line. Jack running a little bit more of a swooping line here at Thompson. That's the technical term for it, a little bit wider line. And let's see if I can grab a camera angle, get our production guys to take a look back up front. There we go. Well done to those guys. As Hunter Harriet is trying to hold on to 2nd place. We've got RJ Williams and Ryan Phillips closing the gap. Phillips qualified in the 3rd place spot. Has fallen back a little bit, but it looks like Harriet's fallen off a little bit.
I'm pretty sure Harriet paid no favor to that right front tire being up high, pushing hard to keep Justin Brooks behind him for those first 20, 25 laps, whatever that was.
Now, there's Justin Brooks.
Sean is still struggling.
Oh, I just heard something as well. I heard impact somewhere across the track as Johnson losing spots to Hill and Trouton here. Going to stay on the outside line of Kenny Cool in the number 25, and they've got to be careful there. Oh, contact!
Oh, Sean!
Oh, no, but
and
Karma immediately paid him back. So Johnson got in the back of Trouton, and then Stiles says, no, sir.
Be happy.
So let's get the instant replay queued up. So you're watching Kenny Trouton, the number 25, Sean Johnson, the 32 machine. Looks like I think... there it is. Johnson went down low and just barely touched him.
Johnson got a good run from the apex to the exit and decided he was going places.
Now look at this. I'm going to get back live, Robert. We've got drivers.
I was going to say, what do we got on pit road here?
It's a busy pit road. You've got Brooks, Rapp, Jack, Pienta, Weaver.
I'd be impressed if anybody stayed out, to be honest with you.
Well, the top 12 drivers right now, let's make it it might be 13. Steven Oberstadt moves up into 12. So 12 drivers, half the field has opted to stay out. Half the field has come down pit road.
I wonder if those guys aren't aware of the session error. I feel like our admins, we went around and we let everybody know, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's here at the race, but I mean, maybe some drivers value track position, but this is almost the exact same recipe that we saw last week. You've got a lot of fast drivers mid-pack or back, and this time they've got fresh tires underneath them. So cautions breed cautions, and this is kind of the perfect situation for that.
Yeah, we're about to have a 2-wide restart with people on random tire strategies.
Yeah,
it's
12th place back.
We got a chance to get to
tires.
my my gambling line that I set at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, we're about to see if things are going to get exciting. I think they're about to get exciting the next couple laps on this restart. And it looks like 19 drivers are going to be on the lead lap here. Kenny Trouton is able to stay on the lead lap. Johnson, I believe, got that EOL. He's going to be a lap down at the tail end of this thing.
iRacing apparently is having trouble with the lineup, according to some drivers across the chat, it sounds like. It might just be Benson Weaver on his own having an issue.
Bless his heart. Poor Benson Weaver piloting that number 1 machine. He's going to be starting 18th on this one, down 4 spots where he qualified. But this is going to get really dicey really quickly as we get ready, just about to hit that halfway mark tonight. The pace truck is down pit road. It's going to be Harriet and Williams on the front row. Harriet on the gas, trying to get Williams off of him as quickly as he can.
Harriet way gone on that restart.
Oh, here we go.
Cars on the wall. Cars on the wall.
That was the 01 of Caleb Hill. Luckily, it looks like the field able to get around and find there, but that's the exact recipe that we were worried about. Justin Brooks already moving his way through the field, has gained 3 spots before a full lap was completed. I can also see Dave Grajewski, the number 6 machine, trying to cut in alongside Lucas Longmire in the 88. Lucas was our fans' choice driver last week, and who was that? Was that Caleb Hill again?
Yeah, I think he hit the access gate there coming out of 2. Bounced off the wall very far. That right front is crunchy.
Now, I think, Robert, if we can get 15 laps or so clicked off without a caution, I feel like we're going to look pretty good for the rest of this race to kind of run its course a little bit here. But Brooks wasting no time, muscling. I think that was Patrick Oberstadt in the 41 machine.
I was going to say, it's the 41 that he bumped into. I recognize the paint scheme.
Yeah, and Lucas Longmire is going to shoot up the inside line. And keep an eye on Grajewski, that number 6 as well. I believe he's got fresh tires underneath him. As Oberstadt trying to get back down in line, and you talked about this. If you're outside the groove, it's very, very tough, as there is Johnny Rapp and Dave Grajewski side by side looking for an opening, but both drivers in front of them are on their original sets of tires, and when you're too wide at a short track, it's real tough to make any moves here. Now,
so there's not really a third lane option.
No, but I think Grajewski's going to make one here. He was looking hard on that inside line. He's going to do it again.
I mean, that is not an apron. That is the track all the way to the grass. He can go down there, but...
Yeah, it was a good effort, but I think that's going to give a free spot back to Pienta. Grajewski and Jack are going to go side by side for 13.
That is something that I feel like from practice, the bottom was just not the way to make a pass. Oh!
Contact with Brooks and Jeremy Brault.
That was aggressive. The right front looks caved in on that 74.
Yeah, exactly. It does. It almost looks like the front right's towed out a little bit.
Oh, if you touch the wall, it's instant wheel damage. It is a night killer.
So yeah, the number 74 machine is going to be on the back foot here. We'll see if we can get an angle of it. Just barely saw the crinkled in front right.
There is some rage coming across the iRacing chat between the two.
Well, that's
big rack on the front. Devin Jack around. Evan Pienta. Dave Grajewski.
Oh, Pienta's pointing the wrong way. It looks like Pienta, Jack, 2 drivers hard into that one. Let's get the replay queued up here. Focus in on Evan Pienta and the normally very clean 55. Looks
Evan.
like, I can't tell if Evan
Cleared
went high
himself.
there. And then Dave Grajewski sent it right back against Devin Jack.
Yeah, Dave just had nowhere to go. Poor guy.
Ooh, and Pienta's still getting hit there.
He wasn't really moving too much, so whoever hit him, that's kind of on them not paying attention.
So that'll be our second caution of the night here. RJ Williams
RJ
comes down pit road.
Immediately on pit road, yeah.
David Hill, Jeremy Brault, Patrick Oberstadt coming down pit road. Dave Grajewski's going to come down pit road.
So anybody
well
that
as
stayed out
Stephen
in that
Oberstadt.
previous caution.
Right now, it looks like Hunter Harriet, Ryan Phillips, Scotty Phillips, Jeff Stiles. The top 4, they're still on their original set of tires. You've got 7th, 8th, and 9th. Longmire, Liedl, and Trout also staying out on their original set of tires. Now, Rob, I know
Lucky
it's not
Doug
really
coming around and Hunter Harriet.
I know it's not really by design, but I've got to say I'm not opposed to the tire strategy here tonight.
I am a strategy fan myself.
Yeah, this is a granted it's outside the norm, but a cool little curveball for tonight's show. As we are officially past the halfway mark, and I believe this is gonna be another double file restart, correct?
Caution on the 55.
So that's Evan Pienta, who will be awarded an EOL here, end of line penalty. Pienta's still on pit road after 50 seconds in his stall, so he either has some substantial damage or has opted to put it back in the virtual hauler.
He might have requireds. That was a whale of a hit.
Yeah, that was a good one. And a reminder to the fans as well, the Fans' Choice Award is open. Even if your driver did not make it into the show, Robert, you can still vote for him and, you know, help support a guy. We're giving some end-of-season prizes away this year, so link is in the description as well as the chat.
Look, my wife said she wouldn't even open the form to vote for me. I mean, if she's not going to vote for me as her favorite, who's going to vote for me, you know?
Yeah, okay. I can put one in.
Not to sound like a 1960s sitcom lead, but
Why
dang.
I oughta. So it's going to be the second restart of the night here at Thompson. We're 2 cautions in.
Let's see if Harriet chooses the outside. I doubt. I don't know.
7
it is an option the
drivers.
pole sitter or
Yeah,
the leader has.
7 drivers, including Harriet. The number 81 machine still on their original set of tires underneath them. Keep an eye out. Johnny Rapp, Justin Brooks are going to be starting the 3rd row. They came in on lap 40.
I was about to say that 33 up to 5th.
Yeah, then it's going to be about 13th place back, all on the freshest set of tires after a lap 54 pit stop. Safety car is in. Harriet immediately on the throttle. Oh, and a big link there from, I think that was RJ.
27?
Yeah, excuse me, you're right. That was Ryan Phillips.
I think it's Liedl up in the wall in turn 1 and 2.
Nice wide angle shot showing the absolute foray. Who was that? Was that the 74 way down on the apron there? Now we know for certain he's got that front right damage, so he's already fighting the car here. And even with the fresh tires underneath him, there's only so much you can do if that suspension's working against you.
So there's only so long
and
that
3
he's
wide,
got.
Robert. David Hill in the middle between Oberstadt and around goes Hill. I had a suspicion that was going to happen, but man, was it cool beforehand. There we go. That's the shot of the night. The 41, Patrick Oberstadt on the inside line, just gives a little bit of a love tap to Hill. And that
We
was
were talking a
number
little
80.
earlier how 3 wide was going to be not the play.
You know how relieved Liedl must be after that one to not be tied up. He was on the high side while 3 wide. Short tracks, 3 wide, new tires, not normally a recipe for success.
My question becomes after that, I don't remember how many laps we just ran green, but that might trigger a single file restart.
I'm woefully not sure of the rules. I thought it might have been if you don't get a lap complete, it goes to single, but there
I
could
think
be
two or
a
three laps.
yeah, they could have the admin countdown timer.
I'm not here to lie to you. I'm both the series, one of the admin for the series, and I don't even 100% know the rule off the top of my head.
All right.
It's a good look.
Hey, we said you were going to get promoted to broadcast team, and here you are. Now,
I mean,
Robert Lidl's going to come down pit road on this cycle.
he was in the wall, I believe, both of the prior restarts going into turn one. He's been in the wall. He followed the 0-1 the time before this one.
And now Justin Brooks is going to be starting. If we do a 2-row start, he's going to be on that second row with those lap 40 tires underneath him. The top 3 drivers still on their original tires. You've got Jeff Styles in 5th. He's on his original rubber, as well as Longmire and Trout running 7th and 8th, valuing the track position more than their fresh tires. And what do you think about that strategy, Robert? How important is track position versus the fresher tires at this point in the race?
Oh man, at this point in the race, I would like both tires and track position, like that 33 car myself. But track position, you can't beat it.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how this is going to work. I mean, especially
tires on these late models, you get these caution laps. You do what Hunter's doing. You ride on the cool part of the racetrack up there and cool the tires down. You get about 5 to 7 laps where the tires have cooled down and they grip up almost like a new tire. So you're not terribly off pace for a few laps on a restart.
Yeah, and maybe if it's going to be abbreviated green flag runs, that could be an excellent strategy. We're seeing that number 81 machine used right now.
Yep.
Ryan Phillips playing follow the leader here. What's it looking like? Are we going to get a single file restart, or are we going to form them up? Look at single file.
Said something across the chat, and sometimes he's hard to understand when he speaks. Nope, that doubled.
All right, so it's going to be Harriet and Phillips on the front row. Brooks.
Harriet takes the outside this time.
Interesting. And keep an eye out. Maybe he's trying to keep that 33 machine at bay.
Oh, he definitely is. He came across and confirmed that under the yellow, so I think he wasn't sure.
This is going to be exciting. Phillips and Harriet, your front row. Ryan Phillips, I should say. We've got 2 Phillips family members up here in the mix, and look at that. That was an interesting
33 got into
start.
the 27 there. Coming to the green. Oh, we got a big wreck on the front.
Here we go. We're piling up some perfectly good race cars. And unfortunately, I think R.J. Williams was tied up in that one. I think
I hope he
that
didn't
started.
get tore up too bad. The 27 car is there. He just restarted on the inside of the front row.
I think he actually showed involved in an incident, pushes wide.
Justin got into him there on the restart. Threw him off.
What is he doing?
Kevin LePage is the field.
I have questions.
Did the 21 get into the back of him or the side of him?
Well, let's look once more.
I like the 21, you know? He's a cool guy. He's going to need a cigarette and a whiskey after this.
Yeah, no doubt. So Phillips and Brooks make contact. So far, so good. The start could have been clean there. But then Phillips just comes right into the track, and the 21 absolutely hammers them. And unfortunately, things start to stack up for the number 21. Doesn't get any sort of reprieve there as he gets hit.
Yeah, there's a lot of busted fiberglass, to put it kindly.
Jeff Styles down pit road.
It's not as bad as that, what was that, lap 50 restart at Five Flags?
Yeah, that was rough. It looks like Jeff Styles, only driver down pit road. I'm fairly certain I know how race control is going to call this one. RJ Williams, Patrick
I feel like you
Overstock.
have to. We'll see. Caution on the 27, according to race control. Which I can't argue that.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. That start, I think, could have still been good if everybody held their position on track, and I'm also fairly certain after that one we're gonna go single file on this one. We got Libby Marissa joining us in the spectator, cheering on Lucas Longmire.
Hi, Libby.
Longmire's having a pretty good night, and funny that the timing. Longmire's also our hard charger, up 16 positions so far here tonight.
Oh. We've got a lot of people creeping their way high up in the field here.
Yeah, Grajewski's up 10 spots. Steven Oberstadt's up 15. And Lucas Longmire, our hard charger, he was that Fans' Choice winner last week as well, so building some momentum.
We've also got some tough breaks for guys that were just involved in that wreck. Phillips down 17 spots in 20th. RJ Williams, 18 spots, 19 spots now as they move around on pit road down in 21st. Or no, 23rd, I'm sorry. Misread.
So it's going to be right around 25 laps left to go as we are under our 4th caution flag of the night. Hunter Harriet's still going to be up front, but now he's got Brooks, and that 33 machine wasted no time trying to get behind that 81 in Brooks. He's got about 32 lap fresher tires underneath him. As Hunter Harriet's still on his original set. Safety car is in. There's our single file restart. Let's see what Hunter Harriet can do with those original tires, because Brooks is going to charge forward here.
It was a great restart out of Harriet. Johnny Rapp kind of holding the field off in 3rd there. Got a car low.
Yeah, that's Scotty Phillips, number 23 machine. Phillips is up 3 spots. Rapp is up 2, but good to see Rapp. We didn't have him out here last week. We were asking about him, so good to see things are going well for the 52 as he is in podium contention. Yeah, it was a toothache or something, I believe. So
he's had a wisdom tooth fighting him for a couple weeks.
Oh, Justin Brooks just set the fastest lap of the race at 19.33. Hunter Harriet set his fastest lap of the race, but it was over a 10th slower. So 25 laps left to go here. Things could get exciting still.
Sean Johnson coming off of pit road as the leaders go by. Oh, boy.
So let's pan back to Johnny Rapp.
Pack.
So Johnson still has pace.
I hope Sean didn't mess up Johnny there.
It might have cost him 3 or 4 tenths. I believe Rapp was about 9 tenths
cost him many spots.
Off the leaders. Well, that's going to stack things up a little bit. Look at the huge send from Kenny Trouton across the apron, or inside racetrack, as I was corrected earlier. So
yeah,
he's taking a look at it. He is hungry.
We almost had a Dale Jr. moment.
Yeah, that was getting a little bit exciting, but luckily Trouton was hard on the brakes, didn't make any mistake. Keeping the pressure on Scotty Phillips, number 23 machine. There's Benson Weaver, the number 1. He's up 8 spots here tonight.
Oh, we got a wreck? No, just got a car on the wall.
And here's another exciting moment. Steven Oberstadt, Devin Jack, Caleb Hill battling for that inside 10 spot. We've got another incident reported. Ryan Phillips showed involved in an incident, but
he's got a DQ. He's got a black and white flag.
That's interesting.
You got to speak up sooner if you're going to have a passing under yellow, risking a DQ.
Oh, so that's what it was. Passing under caution. So unfortunately, Ryan Phillips is going to be going back behind the wall here.
Yeah, that's one of those that we clear.
Oh, and something else is
people
happening.
Speak up. Uh-oh. Oh, I see a backwards car in the infield. Kenny Trouton.
Oh, no, Kenny. Let's get that replay queued up. He was showing a ton of aggressiveness against Scotty Phillips in the 23. Let's see where things
He might have got
wrong.
loose on the bottom there. But
big send up the inside.
3, 4.
Oh,
you gotta bounce off him and just go around.
Yeah. Kenny's gonna go for a wild ride here. Thankfully, even though that's not what Kenny was looking for, thankfully no other drivers involved. Statistically, on these short tracks, when we have an incident, it can very quickly become a massive pileup.
I mean, thankfully for him, he both got a yellow, didn't get wrecked, and he's still in the lead lap.
Yeah, as far as
he's
bad
got a chance to gain some spots. I'd come get some tires myself. That I couldn't tell you.
Kenny's still on his original set as well, and sliding around like that definitely doesn't do you any favors as far as the heat buildup. Now, Grajewski and Potts took this opportunity to grab fresh tires underneath them. They're going to roll back out on track running 18th and 19th.
I say my comments more, you're already pretty much
At the
last. Might as well
back,
come
yeah.
get some freshies and send it, right? I don't know how much help it's going to give you. But on a side note, James, that was caution number 5.
So, did you go with the over and I went with the under?
Oh, I just set the line. I didn't really pick. I was
Oh.
thinking over, though.
I gotta say, though, even with the amount of cautions we've had the last couple weeks, the racing has been great out here at the Sparked Rescreened LLC late model tour. I'm curious to see Hunter Harriet on those original set of tires. As you pointed out, he's up in the marbles trying to get some little bit of extra put on there, get those tires cooled down. But he's got Brooks right behind Johnny Rapp. I would not discount the 52 machine as well.
This should be a double file restart, I think.
I think you're
But
right. I think there was
It looks
several,
like
quite a
our
few
race
laps
controller
completed.
has. I think our race controller's got it pegged to single file.
Well, what race
If I'm
control
reading
says,
correctly.
race control goes.
Oh, it's 5 laps of green to. It's 10 laps to go back double. I'm sorry.
Well, still a valiant effort from the drivers. They were feeling pretty close. We've got Julia J. She's cheering on Lucas Longmire, that hard charger up 17 spots. Keep an eye on Steven Oberstadt right behind Longmire, also up 17 positions. So good to see the veterans and the newcomers having some great runs here tonight.
Who's really having a great run is Benson Weaver. In that one machine.
Yeah, up 9 spots inside the top 5.
Another person having a. Considering their situation they were having in practice, Dade Grajewski's having a pretty great run too.
Yeah, Grajewski wasn't able to make the show last week, but finding
very
some
upset
pace
about
here at
that.
Thompson. So yeah, good to see him back out on track. I mean, as a
Well, we're
broadcaster,
going
it's
right
tough
on the
for
back.
me.
There was a wreck coming to the green on the backstretch apparently.
Didn't see anybody askew there, so I wonder if there's a little bit of accordion effect as now Justin Brooks going to put the pressure on the 81 machine. He had a nose in the inside line, didn't quite have the momentum. We're 15 laps left to go in today's feature event. Will the old chrome horn come into effect here tonight, Robert? There's not a lot of laps left. Oh, I think I saw Johnny Rapp. A bit of a bobble out of turn 4. Almost gave the spot to Scotty Phillips, who just set his fastest lap of the race. And it looks like Kenny Trouton's working up through 15th. Kenny's still on his original set of tires, so he did not come down pit road during that caution. Quite a bit of a gamble. I think I'm with you. I think I would have taken tires if I was already in a bad spot. Benson Weaver holding on to the top 5, trying to keep Lucas Longmire at bay. RJ Williams, after almost 9 minutes, he's going to roll back out on track to at least try and take the checkered here.
That's a trooper.
And look
He
at
is going to
this.
at least gain a spot from the 27. Oh, somebody's in the wall in the front.
Bit of a gaggle there around the 8th place spot. Jeremy Brault battling that front right damage, trying to keep David Hill behind him.
The virtual crowd is on its feet, James.
Yeah, this is going to be good as we are bumping and grinding Hill.
Oh,
Brault
are we about to be 3 wide? No.
and Cole
Hunter Cole thought better.
wisely backs out of it. A great call there from Cole. At 37, no! And
Oh,
around
no.
goes David Hill. And that's going to bring out that 6th caution of the night, and we're going to get dangerously close to green-white checkers. Let's see what happened to Hill. There was contact there between himself and the 74.
I say we might need a different camera angle to really get a good grip of what happened.
Enhance.
I wonder if the 43 got loose and come across his nose.
Enhance. There we go. I mean, that's not much of a better angle.
I was gonna say like something like the far chase or something.
That's not a real broadcast camera.
I mean, this isn't real cars.
You take that back. There we go. Chopper Cam, sponsored by Rescreened LLC.
Oh, yeah, he just drove through him. 74 got a run. It looks a lot like that Sean Johnson incident from earlier, where
Yeah,
he just got that good run on the exit.
I'd agree.
We got some hostility in the voice chat in the race session.
That's one thing I wish we could have in the broadcast booth, but we all know why we don't. Is the driver radios, a little bit of radioactive.
Call it the Nick Seraph rule.
Exactly. Now, I believe that means we're not going to have any more double file restarts here tonight, as we're currently 7 laps left to go under caution once more. 77, I believe, just got awarded an EOL, judging by him falling back there.
Yes, he was. The 74 got the EOL on that one. Randy is explaining the double file rule right now. Our race controller, Randy Bechtel. He's clarifying to the gentleman on track that we are going single file, and here is the rule.
That's fair. So, fans, we've got about 5 laps left to go to get your driver votes in for the night. Last week, it was Lucas Longmire picked up that Fans' Choice Award. Will it be somebody different here at Thompson? As we get ready with what could be our final restart of the evening. It's going to be 4 laps left to go for this start. We're currently under our 6th caution of the evening. And we're watching to see can Hunter Harriet,
Lights are out on the truck,
on his original set of tires, fend off Justin Brooks, or is that 33 machine gonna use that front bumper here late in the race to try and make something happen? I'd also keep an eye out.
I feel like he will.
Johnny Rapp sitting in 3rd. I think Rapp is in a great spot here. After the aggressiveness shown between Harriet and Brooks last week, I would not at all discount Rapp from is currently 3rd or better.
Green, green, green.
Harriet with another great start. Brooks staying right in tow. Rapp getting chased by Scotty Phillips, the number 23 machine. Phillips, I don't believe, has gotten a podium so far this season. And I heard some car parts in the background as somebody was tagging the wall. Now, Robert, if we can take the white flag, we will not use our green-white checker attempt here this evening.
That is true. I think it was either Kenny or somebody near Kenny Truton that bounced off the wall back there. But that's beside the point. We've got a battle for the lead. And a 52 car in the catbird seat just in case things go sideways.
This is going to be interesting. 2 laps left to go here at Thompson. Harriet holding on just by a nose. Justin Brooks sitting in 2nd. White flag will be out this time by. If Brooks is going to make a run at it, now has got to be the time. Final lap, Robert. What are we going to see here?
I feel like Justin is one that he wants to win. He's gonna get it.
Here we go. Big
He's gonna go for it.
I don't think he's going to
He
get it
sent
here.
it, but he kept it clean. I thought he was going to use that front bumper and make it happen.
So it's going to be Hunter Harriet, Justin Brooks, and Johnny Rapp, and I think Justin Brooks immediately took a tow back to pit road after that one.
He alt F forward as soon as he crossed the line.
Respectable. We'll see if we get him up here for a podium interview. I'm not
We
optimistic.
got Hunter Harriet in the waiting room. Justin did disappear off of the voice chat. Usually he hangs out, doesn't say anything. It's awkward. Well, it's not entirely, but it's a little awkward. Let's see. We got, I think Lucas Longmire is our we got, look at
Two
that.
of 'em.
Longmire and Oberstadt, 17 spots gained.
Yeah, well done. Stephen Oberstadt, a newcomer here. This is his first season, the Rescreened LLC late model tour, and what a great run up there. I mean, from everybody, Hunter Harriet, the dominant driver in the 81. We're still waiting on Johnny Rapp and maybe Justin Brooks. I'm not sure if we're going to get those guys up here or not. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get Rapp. But
Benson
actually,
Weaver with a great run in 5th. Dade Grajewski plugged his computer in, fixed his issues, and he finished 14th. Good run for him. A lot of sad trombone noises for some other drivers, but we don't need to call them out while we wait for our
No.
people to line up in the broadcast waiting
hey,
room.
at least they made the show, right?
I mean, you know, I can't really negatively say anything about anybody else that made the race.
Everybody's trying their best here.
I tried my best to relocate the Jersey barrier at a turn 4 in qualifying, and I didn't manage to move it.
So we're going to get our drivers up here to victory lane, and we're going to start with
Oh, we've got all 3.
Mr. Johnny Rapp joined us in the number 30 or 52 machine, excuse me. It's been a long night, John. I can't imagine what it was like from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it started off really good, nice long green run. I was kind of running in the top 5, maybe 6.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, but man, they started widening them up, and I don't know. We'll have to go back and rewatch the broadcast, see what exactly what was happening back there. But still happy to come home where I did.
I wouldn't be upset about it if I would have made the race. Be 3rd.
Oh, Robert, do you have any questions for Mr. Rapp?
How full of anticipation were you with those last couple laps watching that 33 hunt down that 81 machine? Especially when he
Man.
sent it into turn 3 on the white flag.
So after seeing the race last week, like before that, I would think like, oh, they're they ain't gonna they're buddies or teammates or something, or I don't know, I don't exactly know, but they ain't gonna race each other too hard, right? But then after last week, I was like, oh, maybe they will, and yeah, I know Justin had sent it in down low, and man, they didn't really get together much, if at all. So hey,
No,
I'll
they were
take 3rd
much cleaner this week compared to last week with each other.
for sure. Yeah,
Well, Johnny,
they both put on a hell of a race.
Well, super cool to have you up here in the booth, especially after you were off last week. Glad you're feeling a little bit better. Still showing the 52 machine has great pace. Before I let you go, who do you want to give a shout to that helped put you up here in the podium?
Well, yeah, the normal, my dad, the payday guys, and everybody that helps us put this league on. Everybody that shows up in races. I know we had some trials and tribulations here tonight, but hey, we'll work through it and still, put on a pretty good show. So, and you for putting on the broadcast too, and Robert for stepping in this week too.
What a legend. Johnny, always a pleasure,
I had
buddy.
nothing else to do.
Johnny, always a pleasure, man. Good to have you up here, and hope to have you back up next week as well.
It sounds good. Thanks.
All right.
That was Mr. Johnny Rapp join us in the 3rd place position. Now that Robert up here in the booth has the rhythm down, where I ask a question, he asks a question, and then I ask a question. Next, we're going to be joined by Mr. Justin Brooks, the number 33 machine. Justin, you and I were talking about the tires and the alternative strategy coming into tonight. How beneficial was having that fresh rubber after lap 40 for you coming back through the field?
Honestly, I wish I wouldn't even said anything, and none of us would have pitted and just stayed out, because honestly, I feel like staying out was the move. I took 2 tires, and that'll tighten you up because the car was trending loose throughout the run there, that first run. And I say my tire's good, but I figured a lot more people would have pitted. So I was banking on that, and then banking on 2 tires, having a long run and keeping the right rear on it while everybody else falls off like they were that first run and just pulling away. But that didn't happen, and put myself in a bind there, and all the cautions just cooled everybody's tires down, made it pretty much equal. And again, it's hard to do something with 2 tires when you're tighter starting off the run and you are looser. I feel like I could have put on a better finish there for you with Hunter there at the end, but I was just way too tight.
Yeah, man.
Robert, do you have a question for Mr. Brooks?
Oh, so after last week with the rivalry that heated up, it seems to have cooled down because you stayed calm and kept Hunter Harry at arm's length and didn't really send him. I thought you were going to send him. I watched that last lap with anticipation.
Uh, I thought about it, especially after what happened last week. But I mean, it is what it is. You know, if I would have been beside him, I would have definitely doored him up the track. But I didn't have a big enough run off the corner. I tried to scare him going into 3. I was like, all right, let me drive in here deep. Maybe he'll look, overdrive the corner, and then coming off the corner, I can knock him up the track some and take it. But just like I said, just wanted to scare him. Hopefully, push him to a mistake. That didn't happen. So, well, like I said, I'll take P2 out of it.
And then on top of that, you've got a solid points day with some pretty fast guys got hung up in wrecks and stuck in 18th plus. That 21 car, RJ Williams, last week's winner, he got destroyed on a restart.
Yeah. Thankfully, there's a drop in this series because I had to use mine the end of last season after my mom passed away, and thankfully I still won the championship. But I know that I'm looking forward. I think next week's at Stafford, and that's my favorite track by far. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Well, Justin, super cool to have you back up here in the top 3 after a last week event that I think everybody wants to forget. Before I let you sign off and celebrate with the rest of the hooligans, who do you want to give a shout out to that helped you bring home second here today?
Thank you guys, obviously putting this on. Thank everybody over here at Spark. Hopefully, won't have unlimited tire sets next week because I'll be looking forward to saving tires and trying to keep it out front at Stafford. It's like the best track on the game. Thank anybody that raced me clean tonight, especially coming through the field. Had some guys that were giving a take and giving respect, and I greatly appreciate it. And I'll remember that. You know, if the time comes, I need to return the favor. So, thank you guys again. Mainly, like I said, you guys put on a great broadcast each and every week.
Well, thank you, Justin. Super cool to have you back up here, and best of luck next week at your hometown favorite.
All right, we'll see you, buddy.
I just got to say, with his accent, I don't think a Connecticut racetrack is his hometown.
No, okay,
favorite.
not hometown, but at least his favorite track. Well, that being out of the way, and the broadcaster snafu. Up next, we've got the man, the myth, the legend, Hunter. Welcome back to the top spot, the number 81 machine. Man, that's got to feel good to have behind you after last week's event.
Yeah, 100%. Last week didn't really go our way. Well, it started off pretty good, and then we had to battle back and ended up burning up my tires and just finishing 4th. We'll take it. Good points after what happened early on in the race.
Definitely a good point showing for week 1 and 2 now, especially with the win.
Now, Hunter, you stayed out on the original set of tires. Is that something you kind of stuck with from the beginning? Did you know about the tires behind the wall, or where did that call come from?
Honestly, I had no idea, and that when that first caution came out and Brooks pitted, I was on my phone texting, and I didn't see him pit. And to be honest, if I would have saw him pit, I probably would have pitted right behind him. But I mean, it all worked out. I'm kind of glad we didn't. And my tires are still pretty good even after the burnout, so I'll take that.
Well, Robert, do you have anything? Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was explaining it to James at one point in the broadcast, what you were doing, riding up by the wall, cooling the tires down, and how you can manage to get about 5, 6, 7 laps of almost fresh tire performance out of a used tire on these late models.
Yeah, 100%. Like we had a couple long runs there, and we had the longest run. It kind of started getting free on me, and I would say those cautions really did help. And yeah, I mean, I'd ride up there, get the marbles on the right size, and I'd fire off quicker every restart. I mean, it just got better and better, and I don't know if Brooks had damage or what, but he was getting off the corner a bit better than me, but I was just pulling him down a straightaway. But I mean, those cautions played a big factor tonight. But yeah,
I
overall,
think the biggest factor for Justin, he was saying he only took 2 tires instead of all 4 because the way the car was trending loose on him.
Yeah,
So
honestly,
he made a play to keep tighten it up.
I probably would have done the same thing with just taking 2 there as well, just trying to get the car a little bit tighter. Because like I said, it did get a little free on me towards those long runs, which just made it a little bit more fun. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Hunter, super cool to have you up here in the top spot. A great race, a great showing across all of the field here tonight. And now, my friend, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout to that helps put that 81 in the top spot?
I'd like to give a big shout out to Good and Boys Racing. It's a little crew that we got gets on here and hangs out. But let's do Justin. He paints all my cars and he raced me clean tonight. After last week, we had our little disagreement, whatever you want to call it. But I appreciate him coming in this race and racing me a lot, racing me clean, just dropping it like real men would. You know what I mean? And yeah, he helps me out a lot between painting my cars and building setups for open races. So yeah, I appreciate all of them and everybody that's tuned in and watching. And I appreciate y'all for putting this on.
Awesome. Thank you, Hunter. Congratulations
All right.
again, and hope to have you back up here next week, sir.
Oh yeah, I'll be looking forward to it. See y'all later.
Now, if anybody needs to keep the gators out of their pool in Southwest Florida, Rescreened LLC is the company for ye.
Yeah, absolutely nailed it. Robert, it was a great night. We had over the 4 cautions we were thinking. I believe it was 6 on the board, but we had Hunter
Oh, I
Harry
called
at
for
first.
5.
We had Justin Brooks second. Oh, you went 5, excuse me. And then Rat picked up that podium here tonight. What more can you ask for with short track racing?
Myself to make the race and be in the top 5. You know,
Well,
that's what I can ask for.
There's always next week, and if you don't make it, we'll have you back up in the booth. So to recap, it was Hunter Harry in the top spot, Justin Brooks finishing second, and Johnny Rapp rounding out the top 3. On behalf of the Rescreened LLC Late Model Regional Tour, my name has been James East, accompanied by Robert Brooks with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for tuning out on Monday night, and we'll see you at the next one. Say goodbye, Robert.
Goodbye.